Abusuya ayo Msika TV mwakwa ba enche bia ye na Dr. Hanabisi wa oye administrator for the Minerals Commission abusuya e ka de ngasabi de on cat as the phone answer no timely intervention by the police no masabi de they were able to rescue her at the Galamsey site na enye easy there was a clash abusuya na very bloody pa na sabi de Chinese ambassador echirem say empen bebre ne say o China for na involved in Galamsey. The Chinese are behind Galamsey. Galamsey is being perpetrated by Chinese personnel. I picture them say, "Yenjai won kura na won jere won na China for a kind of a pa because we are suffering in terms of road construction that they are with the marketing. But then our can fast Chinese for the beer is actually one say one was say Ghanaians I say with Galamsey no from Aisha 1 to the rest. Sounds na Ghana Narcotics Control in collaboration with the National Investigation Bureau. And Chebia never told us a tipper tracker Efi Kaswa headed towards Accra, Winnie Bakwan Swa, or children and carry over 3.3 tons of cocaine. I worth over $30 million. Ebusuya, Yako Cheresa cocaine or tipper tracking. Saram can say the Yashini na grebe aseno. Woman, Ojin want to say. Ebusuya, Dr. Kenasigbe, our convener for Media Coalition Against Illegal Mining. Wakasa, in response to Nsema, the Chinese ambassador can say China for any involved in Galamsey. Dr. Professor Bobkin, Godfred Bobkin, University of Ghana, or a senior lecturer, economist. Wakasa actually say the serious threat, I remember with Ghana, and I said the serious threat to Ghana's economy, Galamsey. And you know, it's about time our authorities take a critical look at Galamsey issues in the country. And then our can make sure so first time in here on this channel, subscribe to Msika TV. Now, you know, follow on Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram for latest updates. African Polo feel free so much to us. Been first and same when you now I'm in the comment section. Now, you know, share video now from so NB. When it comes to Galamsey, successive governments have done their part to stop the menace of Galamsey. But why you are Nina say, and your coin absebi abrewa edro. And you know, baby, they can so Chinese for this year. Make us say, "Krabai we buy over 20 Chinese nationals have been repatriated to China." And yes, Kuma. Now, when Chinese ambassador, there was a programmer, say. In Pembrey, such a China for say, what the Galamsey, but they are the kingpins behind Galamsey. Yes, we know that some Chinese nationals, ranging from Aisha 1, and several other Chinese personnel, Abe say, Ghana and Suwan the assassination forest with Galamsey. Now, so no, we have to make us say, be born to be a Galamsey will be, and I say, Galamsey is saying, no China for the but Ghana for no, an echo. Neko for one because Chinese did be a no name numeric forest. Tano numeric forest, Obi a name ho. And you know, a Ghana for na de wamba. Ain't he say, was send be a ever cardio to Galamsey as dia. Yenja say a pointy accusing fingers on the Chinese nationals. Nemo China for no ever say road construction or ho, building of ports or ho, building of tall or high rise buildings. Why are they? Nemo What's
the reason why when people say Galamsey, they normally equals that with Chinese? But actually, it is not Chinese who, you know, it's the issue is not originated from Chinese. I mean, you can see those mining, Chinese people cannot get the license, cannot get the permit. It's the Ghanaian people who draw Chinese people over here. And Chinese, some of those people who are even caught red-handed, even though they are caught red-handed, they are just, they're just some like migrant workers to come here to make a living. I'm not treated well because they always say, because I have a social media. When I posted X on my social media, then people say, "Hey, Ambassador Galamsey, it seems, you know, Galamsey is caused by China. So this is unfair to me. Am I correct? This is unfair to me. This is really unfair to me. And unfair to the majority, overwhelming majority of Chinese. They have involved a lot of sectors. You can see, you can say, your lot of buildings built by Chinese companies, your roads built by Chinese companies, your port built by Chinese companies. But is any normal Ghanaian people know about this? Or even they know it, they always say Ganamsi. They always say Ganamsi.
Na busunya Dr. Hanabisiu, yes, and Chebiaye, something region. Yamene dina fufi kasa bride. Watona na mo nsiedo. Ko clash e o Galamsey satana enye easy. Na sanse we na Dr. Kenashi Bechirem say the police commander in that particular district should be dealt with because it was a plan something to harm the administrator of the Minerals Commission. And punitive action should be taken against that commander and the law should deal with him. It
will never be in exchange of what we have to do. Never. It's like the word NEVER.
Yeah.
NEUVER. Never, nunca in Spanish.
No,
and in fact, I've not left the raid mode. It's still there. Only that you don't know when I'm moving.
When next you're moving?
No. That will never come out. Not even with the staff. I have just about 2-3 people that will work. And it will never, nothing that you do me. And so, I want to allay their fears. Okay? China, when I went there, by the grace of God, I was encouraged by them to push. And they said if there's any support that we need for that, they are ready to support.
Let's wrap up on the excavators. If you go to these communities, that's the machinery you'll find. But they're huge. So if someone is transporting them or moving them into these communities, we should be able to find them. And also, what form of responsibility should these heavy equipment companies take in terms of paying royalties for the level of destruction taking place?
I think that the president has spoken several measures that they've put in place when it comes to these excavator things. But notwithstanding, though, we still have some excavators still in the bushes. The week before we went to, I think, the Achuma or Mankransu area there, brand new excavator, brand new, it's in the bush, so it's ready to destroy. And what we got up from our confrere, in collaboration with the regional commander and the regional minister, I'm very grateful, Honorable Minister, they've been able to move them to, I think, to the RCC. Right. I'll be following up because so just after that, we had to go for the China-Africa Trade Expo. And so I'll be following up. I want to push for these excavators to be ushered and the money to be accounted for. What has to go to government goes to government. And I propose that what will come out of it should be channeled back to the community to repair some of the damages that they have done.
Now in Galamsey, Dr. Godfred Bobquin, or a senior lecturer, University of Ghana, Department of Economics, say the serious threat to the economy of Ghana, and yet dollar and some whatever, it is the issue of Galamsey. And it is on the field manga anymore, nay, because of Galamsey and some.
I've said it before that if anything will cause me to leave this country, it will be irresponsible mining. And let's not take it for granted. The biggest threat to Ghana's economy is irresponsible mining.
Explain that.
The biggest threat to our very economic survivability is irresponsible mining. And I want to appeal to the president. I know he wants to leave a legacy. That legacy must be linked to restoration of our ecological sustainability. He can't run away from that. Look, I am expecting going forward that the world will begin to boycott our gold. Because this is blood gold. This is blood gold. We are talking about green gold. The world is moving more towards sustainability. Of course, I understand that given the stage of our development, we need to balance how the extent to which we move on the path of sustainability, green economy, energy transition, and all of that. But this is not a good balance. This is an intentional drive of creating existential threat that is much closer than perhaps anyone would think. And it is not out of proportion when people are concerned. Because you know something, the economy can never exist outside the environment. In fact, there's a reason why if you look at the Sustainable Development Goals, everything is linked to sustainability. Whether you look at it from poverty reduction, narrowing inequality, and all of that. In fact, there is a reason why, for a long time, when we talk about peace, they are associated with marketing, 7 Ps, 5 Ps. But we talk about peace in development now because the understanding is that development must meet the 5 Ps. What are the 5 Ps? It must preserve the planet Earth. So any growth process that does not substantially preserve our planet Earth is not sustainable. And the drive is that we should be moving away from environmentally destructive growth model to a more sustainable one. How do you achieve that? You achieve that by developing innovative, generative ideas that leverages on your finite natural resources to a more sustainable growth. But we are not doing that.
Ebusuya, what do you make of this? Papa Nisi, China are not responsible for galamsey. Ghana for na ye ho sebi ye ho. And you know you be ya we should tackle our Ghanaians ourselves. Ninja China for no one because no Chinese person knows a Tiwa forest. Yeah, na yedo omba. The new to say kuku kunja ya kaka no so ebeja. Ebusuya, shema bi no ma me fa san semi in the comment section. I am so for an appear. Bye bye.